The heat in Glasgow is rising, and this time it's not about derby bragging rights or lifting silverware. No, the real battle is unfolding far from the pitch, in the boardrooms, the training grounds, and behind closed doors where scouts and executives are quietly shaping the future of Scottish football. The Rangers are making moves, and from the looks of it, these aren't just routine signings. This is calculated, it's strategic. And if things go to plan, it could send shockwaves not just through Celtic Park, but across the whole of Scotland. After a season where Celtic finished comfortably ahead, a whopping 17 points clear, many thought the balance of power in Glasgow had been firmly settled. But football, especially in this part of the world, never stays still for long. With new ownership backing a fresh vision and Russell Martin leading the charge, the blue side of Glasgow has begun what looks like a serious rebuild. This isn't just about catching up anymore, it's about overtaking, it's about rewriting the script. And now things are getting spicy. Rangers are reportedly closing in on a player both clubs have had their eyes on, a highly rated, young talent who, if snatched from under Celtic's nose, would do far more than just strengthen the squad. It would send a clear and bold message. That message: Rangers are back in the game and they're playing for keeps. Celtic have been quietly monitoring this player for months, laying the groundwork, but now Rangers have made their move. And just at the right time. The timing couldn't be more perfect either. With the summer window in full swing and emotion still raw from last season, this potential coup could change the mood in both camps instantly. No names officially confirmed just yet, but all signs point to a tug-of-war that could define the rest of the transfer window. Now, while all eyes are locked on that, there's movement on other fronts too. Over in France, Stade Rennais are reportedly eyeing Rangers striker Hamza as a possible replacement for Kyogo Furuhashi, who just left for Birmingham. After an underwhelming spell in League One, Igamane's name has been popping up more in transfer talk, and the French side are said to be preparing a serious offer. The asking price: Rangers want £15 million for the Moroccan striker, and they're not budging. That valuation might seem steep to some, but when you look at the numbers, it starts to make sense. Igamane netted 16 goals last season after arriving for just under £2 million. That's a pretty incredible return on investment, and clubs across Europe are paying attention. From Everton and Udinese to Feyenoord in the Netherlands, the queue is growing, and it's only a matter of time before one of them puts real money on the table. And it's not just Igamane drawing attention. Cyril Dessers, another forward on the Rangers roster, was set to join AEK Athens weeks ago. But the two clubs can't agree on the fee. Rangers want $5 million AEK offered for, and negotiations have hit a wall. Until one of these forwards is sold, there's little room to bring in fresh firepower. Which brings us back to another name on everyone's lips: Dor Turgeman. The young Israeli striker has been high on Russell Martin's wish list, but talks with Maccabi Tel Aviv have reached a standstill. The club wants at least £5 million, and word is Rangers have only gone as far as $4 million. The Israeli club's manager has made it crystal clear, unless it's a fairy tale offer, their star striker isn't going anywhere. So Rangers are stuck for now, waiting for something to give. Either they raise their bid or they shift players out to make space and money, but all of that pales in comparison to the real drama: the tug-of-war over Andre Bakanin. The 18-year-old Serbian midfielder is being courted by both sides of Glasgow, and it's quickly becoming the biggest story of the summer. According to officials at FK Kukuriki, both Rangers and Celtic have made contact with other clubs, like Ajax and Udinese, also sniffing around. But it's the old firm rivalry that's giving this chase a whole different energy. Bakanin was left out of his team's opening match of the Serbian season, and that has only added fuel to the speculation. Kukuriki's sporting director has openly admitted the player is close to a move, and that a decision could be made within the next 10 days. For Rangers, landing this signing wouldn't just be a boost for the future, it would be psychological warfare, beating Celtic to a player they've scouted and pursued that cuts deep. It's a win far beyond the pitch. What makes Bakanin so special? Well, for starters, he's not just another young talent. He's got vision, intelligence on the ball, and a calmness under pressure. That's rare for someone his age. He's not expected to walk straight into the starting 11, but as a long-term project. He could become a pillar of the midfield. Think of him as a deep-lying playmaker in the making. Someone who can control tempo, pick out passes others don't see, and quietly dictate games. Rangers want that kind of player. They need that kind of player. And if they can get him before Celtic do, it would speak volumes about where the power in Glasgow might be shifting. Of course, these things are never straightforward. Even if Rangers beat Celtic to the punch, they'll still need to fend off interest from abroad. clubs with bigger wallets and glossier reputations. But here's the thing, Rangers are no longer playing it safe. The new ownership group led by 49ers Enterprises and Andrew Kavanagh has made it clear this isn't just a facelift, it's a transformation, and they're not afraid to take bold swings. We've already seen them act decisively this summer, 7 signings through the door. Oscar Courts' loan made permanent. The recruitment strategy is aggressive and the focus is on building a squad that can compete not just in Scotland but in Europe, but there's still more to do and they know it. Champions League qualifiers are around the corner and the squad isn't quite where it needs to be yet. That's why these next couple of weeks are so critical. Every move matters, every negotiation could tip the scales. And if Rangers want to make a real statement, now is the time. Securing a deal for Bakanin while managing the exits of Iguain or Dessers and keeping the door open for Turgeman, it's a delicate balancing act, but one that could define Russell Martin's early reign. And all of this, one thing is clear. The transfer window has become just as thrilling as any old firm clash, maybe even more so. The mind games, the leaks, the sudden twists, it's all part of a much bigger chess match. And right now, Rangers are making moves like a team that believes they can take control of the board. We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out, but if recent signs are anything to go by, this is just the beginning of something much bigger at Ibrox. The gap to Celtic might have looked massive last season, but momentum is a funny thing in football. A few smart signings, a bit of belief, and suddenly everything starts to feel possible again. And if Rangers can land Bakanin, if they can pull off this transfer right under the noses of their oldest rivals, it could be the moment that turns whispers of a power shift into a full-blown roar. As the noise builds around Ibrox and the speculation continues to swirl, there's a sense that this summer could be remembered as a turning point. Not just in terms of squad building, but in terms of attitude, the way Rangers are approaching the market under Russell Martin speaks volumes about the shift in mentality behind the scenes. This is not the Rangers of 2 or 3 years ago. There's a hunger now, a real bite to their business. Gone is the caution, gone is the hesitation. What we're seeing is a club that knows exactly what it wants and isn't afraid to go toe-to-toe with anyone to get it, and that includes Celtic, especially Celtic. Because make no mistake, the pursuit of Bakanin is about more than footballing potential. It's about a symbolic victory, a power play. This is psychological warfare wrapped in transfer negotiations, and the impact of such a deal, should Rangers pull it off, would be felt well beyond the training ground. It would strike at the heart of the balance of power in Glasgow, and that's what makes it so important. Because while Celtic have been riding high in recent seasons, lifting trophies and finishing miles ahead in the league this summer has made something very clear. They're not untouchable. If Rangers were to beat them to Bakanin's signature, it would show that Celtic's grip on young elite talent is loosening. It would show that players with ambition now see Rangers as an equally valid, maybe even more exciting project, a club on the rise with new ideas, fresh leadership, and a clear vision. It would be a statement, not just to Celtic, but to every agent, every young player, every scout watching Scottish football right now. Of course, no transfer story is complete without its share of complications. Bakanin has options, big ones. Ajax are in the mix, and their track record of developing young players is second to none. Udinese are sniffing around as well, and Italian clubs are always lurking when there's a technically gifted midfielder up for grabs. But Rangers have something unique to offer, to a clear path to first-team football, a massive fan base hungry for success, and a project that feels like it's gaining real momentum. That combination can be powerful, and Rangers are selling it hard. The new regime has brought a sense of professionalism and structure that's been missing for a while. The recruitment team is sharp, analytical, and aggressive when it needs to be. And that's reflected in the kind of targets they're going after, not just established names, but players with high ceilings, untapped potential, and the kind of mentality that thrives in pressure environments. Bakanin fits that mold perfectly. Still, while Bakanin dominates the headlines, he's not the only card Rangers are trying to play. The situation with Dor Turgeman remains fluid, and although things have gone quiet, don't be fooled. The interest is still very much alive. The Israeli striker has already signaled he'd be open to a move to the Scottish Premiership. And that's not something you hear every day. Players like Turgeman, technically gifted, intelligent movers, sharp finishers, don't come cheap. And with Maccabi Tel Aviv holding firm on their valuation, Rangers are walking a tightrope. The reality is simple: for Turgeman to arrive, someone has to leave. It's not just about squad size, it's about financial flexibility. The 15 million valuation on Iguain is intentional. It's designed to fund these sorts of moves, but that price tag is proving tricky. Lille made contact, but never followed up with a formal bid. Everton are interested as are Udinese, but no one has yet met the number Rangers are holding out for. And with the Champions League qualifiers right around the corner, timing is everything. The same goes for Dessers. The proposed move to AEK Athens seemed like a formality not long ago. Now it's stalled, stuck in on £1 million tug-of-war. For million on the table, 5 million the demand. No compromise in sight. And while that may seem like small change, in some leagues in Scottish football, especially under a tight financial model, it's a sticking point that can grind a deal to a halt. So for now, both forwards remain in the squad available, but clearly not guaranteed long-term futures at the club. This logjam affects more than just transfers, it affects preparation. Russell Martin will want clarity. He'll want to know who he's working with as early as possible, especially with high-stakes European fixtures on the horizon. And while there's still time in the window, the margin for error is shrinking. These games matter. They define the tone of a season. Progress in Europe brings money, visibility, and momentum. And if Rangers are serious about shifting the balance in Scotland, those Champions League qualifiers can't be treated like pre-season friendlies. That's why the next few days are crucial. Every phone call, every negotiation, every email sent between clubs, it all carries weight. Rangers have to play this smart. If they can find the right buyers for Iguain and Dessers, they can unlock funds to bring in Turgeman. And maybe even one more name, if they can land Bakanin before Celtic or Ajax swoop in, it becomes the kind of move that builds belief, not just in the squad but in the fan base. And if they can do all of this while winning on the pitch, the snowball effect could be massive. Because football in Glasgow is emotional, it always has been. And this window isn't just about filling gaps or finding bargains, it's about energy. It's about sending messages, it's about showing ambition, real, visible, undeniable ambition. And right now Rangers are doing exactly that. You don't chase talents like Bakanin and Turgeman unless you're serious about building something bigger than just a good team. This is about building a club that doesn't just compete, it dominates. Even the players being linked out are part of that narrative. If someone pays 15 million for Iguain, that's a club showing it knows how to scout, develop, and sell talent at a high level. That elevates the brand. That brings other players to the table. It tells young prospects that Ibrox is a platform, not just a destination, and that's how you grow sustainably. That's how you become more than just title contenders. That's how you become a machine. So what's next? Rangers can't afford to stall. If they believe in Bakanin, they have to act fast. If they want Turgeman, they have to create the space. It's all linked. Every decision affects the next one. And that's what makes this so fascinating. We're watching the chess game in real time. One wrong move and it could all fall apart. One right one and Rangers could change the narrative for the whole season. Meanwhile, Celtic are watching. They've been quiet. Too quiet, some would say. Their fans are starting to ask questions. Where's the ambition? Where's the hunger? Brendan Rodgers still has a strong squad, no doubt. But in transfer windows, standing still is dangerous, especially when your rivals are on the move. And Rangers, they're not just moving, they're sprinting. The weeks ahead will define so much. Not just in terms of who signs where, but in terms of who believes what. If Rangers come out of this window with Bakanin, with Turgeman, and with a few exits that bring in big money, suddenly everything looks different. Suddenly that 17-point gap feels a bit smaller. Suddenly the narrative shifts from rebuild to resurgence. And maybe that's the most important thing of all, belief. Because for all the tactics, the stats, the scouting, and the spreadsheets, football at its core is still about belief, about momentum, about moments that change things. Rangers are chasing those moments right now. The big signings, the bold decisions, the chance to outmaneuver their biggest rival when it matters most. It's all unfolding in front of us, and it's only just beginning. The energy is different. The ambition is louder, and the stakes, they've never been higher. Because in Glasgow, football never sleeps. And when the transfer window becomes the battleground, every deal is a shot fired. Every signing a victory, and every rumor a spark waiting to explode. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Rumors are swirling in the football world as speculation mounts around the future of Hamza at Rangers. According to recent whispers emanating from Ibrox, manager Russell Martin is reportedly not keen on keeping the midfielder at the club, while no official statement has been made. Insiders suggest that Martin's vision for the squad does not include Hamza. raising questions about the player's next move. The buzz began when sources close to the team hinted that Martin's plans involve reshaping the squad for the upcoming season, with Hamza's role seemingly diminished. This development has sparked intense discussion among fans and pundits alike, as the midfielder has been a notable figure in Rangers' lineup. Yet, the manager's apparent disinterest could mean that the club is preparing to offload the player, either through a transfer or loan deal, adding fuel to the fire. The timing of this news coincides with Rangers' push to reinforce their squad, possibly seeking fresh talent to align with Martin's tactical approach. It's widely believed that the manager desires players who fit a particular style and mindset, and perhaps Hamza no longer matches these criteria. The question now is whether the player will find a new home soon or attempt to fight for his place against the odds. Rumors also hint that other clubs are monitoring the situation closely, waiting for an opportunity to swoop in should Hamza become available. While nothing concrete has been confirmed, it's clear that his future at Rangers is clouded with uncertainty. Fans are left to speculate whether this will mark the end of Hamza's chapter at Ibrox, or if a surprising turnaround could occur. As the story unfolds, all eyes will be on the Rangers camp for further clues. Will Martin make a decisive move to part ways with Hamza, or will the player manage to convince the coach to change his mind? For now, the whispers grow louder, making this one of the most intriguing off-pitch sagas in Scottish football. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.